Hey everyone, Tony D and Little Joan here with your Hollywoke hot take. What's going on? Not a whole lot going on in Hollywood. There's this weird controversy with the cover of Vogue and Kamala Harris. Fashion notes: Kamala Harris Vogue cover unsurprisingly void of fashion. Meow. What the hell is this? Jeez, I mean, they didn't wait long to start criticizing her, huh? It's weird. It's very weird to me that they're already going after Kamala Harris for her clothes. There's so many other things you can go after Kamala Harris for, and you're going after her for her clothes. I guess. I guess. Knock yourself out. As they say, the left eats its own, so I guess they're starting early. Uh, Meghan McCain, Capitol rioters are domestic terrorists. They should be sent to Gitmo. Well, that's a nice thought, Meghan. Real reserved, real sensible, but it's the View. So what do you expect, really? I mean, uh, the the fact that there is an article talking about their views on the View. I mean, I can't think of a worse show. I cannot think of a worse show. The only episode of the View I ever watched, and I only watched part of it, was the episode where Donald Trump Jr. and his wife was on. And it was a great episode because they just fought back and forth, and Donald Trump Jr. had to fight, defend his father the entire time, and they couldn't even say his name. So I don't know why anybody would watch this show. I don't know what these guys are going to do once Trump goes away. What the hell are they going to talk about? They've been oh so serious for so long. They're going to try to go back to doing, I don't know, recipes and comedy, quote unquote. Good luck. Good luck with that. Nolte, woke Wonder Woman 1984 flops worldwide. Well, at least someone's acknowledging it. Yeah, it was kind of woke. Kind of woke. I didn't see the whole movie. I saw clips of it. So maybe it's unfair of me to comment. But everything I heard about this movie just sounds like a disaster. But, it all comes back to the same thing. You need good writing in Hollywood. And the egos out there just will not recognize writers as the significant contributors that they are. They just won't do it. It's the one skill that these egomaniacs can't fake. There are guys, they direct movies, but they don't really direct them. There are guys who they can't really act, but they're good looking enough, and they've got good enough directors to sort of make them look good. But when it comes to writing, you can either do it or you suck at it, or you can get somebody to ghostwrite for you, and then nobody believes it. I know of at least one not famous Hollywood producer who he had a ghostwriter write a book for him, and he had a reading of the book, and the room laughed at him because as he was reading the book, I think we did we do that in Hollywoke, another novel? I think we did do that scene, yeah. As he was reading the book, everybody realized that there was no way he could have written it. There was no way. So it's the same old problem. These egomaniacs take over. They want more money. They want more credit. They want everybody to think they're so smart. And then they do this. And it's like, oh, why didn't everybody like it? It's great. And that's the other thing, too. Like, if you make a stinker, the studio has to promote it anyway. They have to try to get their money back. And that just hurts the industry as a whole. And it's so little money compared to the money they spend on these films to pay a writer a decent salary. I'm not even talking like just to pay him scale. It's nothing compared to what everybody else makes. It's nothing. You spend $100 million on a film, you can't spend a couple of $100,000 on the writer. You can't do that. Would set me up for I could probably live off of that money for 10 years if I wrote just one major Hollywood screenplay at scale. But they just won't do it. And it really does have to do with ego. I've never seen anything like it. They fight over that screenwriting credit behind the scenes. It's vicious, and it's so sad. and they don't have the skills. They don't. They just don't. Many of them don't. There are guys who are skilled, but they're rare. They're rare. And even when they have the skill, you know, when you're working for a client and he just sits over your shoulder, and tells you you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You know, he'll henpeck you right into mediocrity. Talk radio owners order conservative hosts to temper election fraud rhetoric. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's bury this story more, because that'll make it go away. You're not going to be able to make this go away. You're just not. You did it to yourselves. The Democrats did it to themselves. The Democrats could have had a fair and open recount and an investigation. Instead, they fought it every step of the way. They just didn't do it. They didn't do it. They should have just opened up the books. But I think we all know that it was the most fair election in history. Honk, honk, wink, wink, clown world. So we'll just have to learn to live with it, I guess. I mean, we learned to live with George W. Bush, and you know, his was about as secure. And California, meanwhile, continues to go into the toilet. The beer virus. Los Angeles state officials disagree on whether dreaded holiday surge has hit yet. Oh, good. Well, keep dithering over that. I'm sure that'll help. You have one of the biggest states in the country. Let people outside, please, you morons. First off, you have beautiful weather. In the sunlight and over 70-degree weather, the virus cannot live on surfaces more than a few seconds, number one. Number two, I think we all know that people under the age of 50 are at very low risk. So all those people should certainly go out. You should spend your money on helping the people in nursing homes and with comorbidities get vaccines. This is madness. But that's Gavin Newsom failing his way up. They're prepping this guy for the presidency down the road. I couldn't imagine, but you know, the S show that is the Democratic Party. I'm sure they'll put him right up in 2024. Why not? Why not? I'm sure Nancy Pelosi, his aunt, will be there and saying, "Oh, go get him, Gavin! You did such a great job in California murdering people." Meanwhile, this has got to be, this isn't so much the story. Broadcast networks prepping a Biden inauguration primetime special. Like, wow. Yeah. And you'd guess that since he got 80 million plus votes, that, man, that's going to be some special, huh? Yeah. Spend a lot of money on that. I would. Yeah. But look at his picture. Is this not the creepiest, weirdest picture I've ever seen? These two like smiling at each other. What the hell, man? That is just, it's just weird. Biden just looks so old. He's so old. It's like he got older, you know, significantly since he started running, and he barely did any running. I mean, his eyebrows in this picture are just scary. They're just scary. And Kamala, I can't think of a phonier politician than Kamala Harris. Everything she does is just, it just reeks of dishonesty and sort of you know, a setup. But I've saved one of the most heart-wrenching stories for last. This is without a doubt the most heartbreaking thing in Hollywood. When I thought Hollywood had destroyed everything I ever loved about the business, about movies and TV, they finally got to this guy. Arnold Schwarzenegger compares U.S. Capitol mobs to the bad guys from Germany, because that's fair. It's just unbelievable. To see a guy who was once the epitome of, you know, back in the 80s, this guy, he couldn't go 2 minutes without waving an American flag or wearing red, white, and blue shorts and doing something cool. And now he just is fallen in with the popularity contest. Ooh, let me see if I can hate Trump more. It's just sad. It's sad to see. It just sours me on everything Arnold has done. I'm such a big fan of Arnold's movies. He was always hilarious back in the '80s when he was doing them. It's really hard to separate the politics from the projects, but I guess this gets him something. I don't know what this gets these people. They're just so caught up in it, I guess. They're just so anxious to demonize anybody who supported Trump. And it's sad. It's sad. So, why not? I mean, it's yet another thing in Hollywood that, makes me go, ugh. Maybe it was a good thing I never got a gig in Hollywood. Never really got anywhere in doing scripts and screenplays. Because I'd have to imagine that if I was out there and if I was in the business now, I'd be screwed. I'd be screwed unless I was sitting on a boatload of money. My career would be ended because I would dare vote in another direction. The ideological purity test is going to come back to bite these people in the ass. And they're going to be canceling each other. It's just like what's going to happen on Twitter. It seems to me there's a massive exodus from Twitter. Everybody's leaving it, and that will leave the people behind to be the next victims. So as everybody just escapes, who's going to be left to cancel? Right? As the right leaves, then you got to cancel the center. As the center leaves, you got to cancel the center left. And then the moderate left. And then you're just punching each other in the face as much as possible. The left is a circular firing squad. And Hollywoke hasn't figured that out yet. But they're gonna, because their industry is dying. And no one in Washington is going to save it. They don't have the money to save it, and they don't care. So, goodbye, movies. Guess we're going to have to make our own version of Hollywood somewhere. Leftist, stay in Hollywood. Ride it out to the end. See how it goes.